Oh yeah, summer's here, at last. Right, I'm back down in Shropshire on the old mere. It's looking really good. Boiling hot sunshine. I've got a couple of rods in the pads, got one out in open water on about a couple of kilo amongst the squid. It's looking good today for the margin work with it being so warm. I've seen a few fish kicking the pads around. But as the night goes on tonight, they're threatening quite a bit of rain, so might push them out. Obviously I'll put a patch of bait out there, so we'll see what happens. I've got a couple of nights ahead of me, so hopefully something good will come. But this session, to be honest, you know, I've taken you through rigs on other videos and other bits and pieces. This session I thought I'd take you through me rod setup and basically how I get my line lay and basically getting the rig out there, so I'll pretty much go from hook points to rod butt. We get going on the setup. I thought I'd let you in on a bit of a tip of how to load your spools and how to mark your distances. Right, because I'm on the boards, I've got one hook there in the board and basically 12 foot away I've got another hook, and basically I'll wrap my line all the way around, basically start from the top there all the way down and back up again. That counts as one turn, and 8 times round there give you basically 64 yards, or basically I've got them all written down here, so I'll show you a quick look at that. Beats a yards, 5 times round is 40 yards, 6 times round 48 yards, and so on and so on. Basically there 100 yards, and the bottom one 40 times 24 foot, obviously because that's a complete turn, 12 foot down 12 foot back up, equals 300 yards. A nice little tip there for you. If you want to load your spools with new line, basically if you fill your spools up all the way to the top, exactly where you want them, even if you have to top it up with some old line, and basically take off 40 times round, which means you'll need exactly 300 yards to put back on. So if your spools, like your bulk spools, come in, I don't know, 1,000 metres or 600 metres, or yards for that matter, there's not, to be honest, there's only give or take a foot here and there. Basically if you want to split a spool into, say it comes in 1,000 metres and you want to do exactly 3 rods with it, so you're just over 300 yards on each, if you take off 40 times round, once, twice, you know, going like that, basically, and then you basically take that off and then fill them back up, you'll be putting back on about 300 yards, so you'll make sure you won't get hardly any waste. So obviously the line you're putting on has got to be somewhere near the thickness of what you're taking off. But that's a good little tip. I've been doing that for years, and to be honest, once you've done it once, you pretty much, and if you use the same line, you can go back to the stop knot for your backing, back down to your backing, and away you go. So I'll just flick it off and do a few turns around there for you, and you'll see what I mean. Okay. Right then, go around the hook 8 times and up to my rod tip, and basically a little stop knot. I'll show you how to tie one of those in a bit. Actually, got a little stop knot on there, and that marks out for this session 60 yards out to the spot. So having it all written down in a book and marking your spots and getting the distances, basically I can get everything measured out on the bank without disturbing the swim, keeping it nice and quiet, and even to the point in the winter where I might not even want to put a marker float out, I can measure it off, you know, 8 times round, 64 yards, and then basically drop it straight on the money, pop it in the clip, and away you go. So hope you like that little tip. There you go, what a beauty. .50-yard spot, I'll turn around for you. 50-yard spot, I'll just take some pictures of this one. And the other rod rattled off with a 23. I'll show you that baby in a minute. Ah. How's that? £30, 5-ounce Shropshire mirror. Hey? What a beauty. Let's get it back, eh? Right, so I was just taking the pictures of the other one. And this baby came up. Lively's going to go. £23. Tight patch of Munster squid, 2 kilo. I had the 30 off that one, and then about half a kilo tight down the margin. This one ripped off. Quite lucky actually, it just ran out into open water, but I was fishing locked up anyway. There you go, let's pop her back. Right then, the rod I'm using is a £3 Nash NRD. Absolutely cracking rod. Basically, it's not just a casting tool. It's a little bit tippy, but that aids for casting. But when you get a fish under the tip, it's absolutely fantastic. Bends right round. Lovely rod. And Terry Edmonds, a friend of mine, well, you'd have heard of him anyway, but he had a big hand in designing these. And basically I've just got the standard off the shelf one. £3 test curve, 12 foot, and these are my choice running here because I don't have to fish any further than 100 yards, and you know, and that's actually coupled up with me long casts big pit, so you know, it's a good matchup that is. It's a bit of a workhorse reel. There's lighter reels and probably better reels on the market, but it does me, and I've been using them for years. And yeah, coming down the rod, basically down to the rig end. I've got me a diffusion leader, tiny bit of putty on the end, a little bit of putty. I do like the tungsten tubing as well, but I generally use the tungsten tubing more in the margins if there's pads, lilies and that type of thing, because it's basically what will happen is your tubing will stay. If a fish goes in the pads, the tubing will get caught up on the nearest stems and basically protect your line as the fish runs through. So that's one of the reasons why I like using tubing. Flat pear lead, little clip just to attach me up lengths, and so I can use chain reaction, little bags, stringers and that type of thing. Standard clip. I'm fishing in the silt. I haven't generally got to drop the lead, but if something happens, it'll drop the lead off quick, and then basically your standard diffusion leader. That's pretty much it. My lead I'm using is a 2.5 ounce lead. Makes it easy to get it out there. But right then, as you can see, there's my stop knot, and basically wherever I have that on the rod, when I basically bait up my baited area, the marker float, and I've measured it out, I'll try and put my stop knot somewhere in the middle of the rod, probably by the spriget as a rule, and then if I want to go a bit further than the spot, I can take it up to the tip ring and clip it up, or even bring it right back down to the reel and clip it up if I want to fish that side of the spot. So you always know where you are on the spot by having the little marker on there. And then basically what you do just pop them in the clip, pop it in the clip on the reel, and away you go. So I'll have a cast out now, hit it to the clip, and the good thing about the clip, to be honest, it's basically doing the same as if you put your finger on the spool. So it throws everything forward and it helps the rig go down nice and tidy. It keeps the rig end away from the lead and the main line. So if you drop it on a tight line, it'll give you you know, almost a tangle-free cast even. So but another good thing, actually, thinking about it, if it's windy and you're getting a side wind, and you've got to up your lead slightly to get the cast out. If you put probably go up about half an ounce in lead and cast just above the surface, about 10 foot above the surface, and let it hit the clip or stop it with your finger, basically what it'll do, it'll actually pull the bow, what the wind's putting in your line, pull the bow out of your line by the force of the lead. So you know, it does quite a few different little jobs for you by stopping the line. One's tangling and one's pulling the bow out of your line. So yeah, give that a bit of thought. Right then, now I've just dropped the back lead on, I've just popped it in the clip, and basically what I'll do now is tighten it up on the clutch. And basically what that'll do, that'll basically, because my back lead's on the bottom and my lead's on the bottom, it'll help pull the line down and straighten it up for me. Put me in direct contact with my lead. Obviously you don't want to pull that too hard that you're going to be moving your lead, but just give it a little bit of tension. Give that a couple of minutes like that. Usually I'll cast the other rod out. But yeah, so just showing demonstration wise, I'll basically peel a bit more line off so the bobbin drops back down onto the floor, slack lining, pop it up in the clip, and that's just off the floor, so we can take a bit more line off. And basically what I'll do, I'll keep doing that, and even if that just pulls up slightly, I'll keep just trickling a little bit of line out. And if you look at the eyes on the rod, if the line's sat down in the eyes, the line's not holding up off the bottom, because it'll basically bring the line back up into the middle of the eyes. So if it does that and pulls it back up into the middle of the eyes, I'll let a bit more line off, and you can keep an eye on it like that. I can't pull in tons and tons of line off, like 6 foot at a time, to get it all really slack. That's really going to hamper your presentation. And another thing, having a slightly heavier bobbin, because the fashion is to have a really light bobbin when you slackline it, but if you have a slightly heavier one and you get a liner, it'll actually pull it back down. So yeah, those coupled up with my sirens as well. Another fantastic bit of Nash kit there. It's pretty much my setup, and it does the job for me. But having the clip a bit further forward there than where they usually are by the reel, it's basically giving you a better right angle. You can see that, the bite indication, and it makes little bleeps and little movements. More important for in the winter time than any other time of year, I think. But or if you're on a lake with really picky fish, like quite cute fish. But yeah, that's pretty much how I set it up. And for instance, if it has pulled it up in the eyes and it's just pulled the bobbin slightly like that, just take another couple of inches out, and at some point it'll stop. And to me that's like your perfect bite indication. So I thought I was about to go and get a Chinese actually, but rod rattled off. Do all the fish first. Beautiful colours. Cracking. 18 pound on the nose. Beautiful fish. Right then. I'll put Burrage, show you the other side. And I'll get it back and go and film my face. Had her off the margin spot down there where I saw a carp roll before. So it's looking good. Beautiful fish in these old meres. Obviously back in Shropshire. So cracking. Right then, we've got just tonight to do. See if we can get a big one out. See you in a bit. Nice one.